don't think people really understand like how much, you know what I'm saying, how much power there is in specializing in something. I think we all kind of think that, it's best to kind of branch out and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But when you specialize in something and get really granular, go really deep, you know what I'm saying, like you kill it. What was the mindset, bro? You know what I'm saying, to kind of pull you out of, where you were before to like, you know what, let's go after this money for real and, legal and,
For
good hustle.
me, for me personally, about I don't know, I got 13 years sober, so I don't drink, no drugs, no drinking, none of that shit. So for me, I still wanted that lifestyle, right? But didn't want the consequences that came along with it, right? Didn't want to go to jail because that sucked, right?
All day.
Jail sucked, prison sucked even worse, right? Like I've been there, done it, like, check, not a happy check mark, but check, like it's there on the resume, right?
Right.
It's extensive enough to where I can't just say, hey, Mr. Lawyer, here's some money, let's make this shit go away. So the jacket's long, right? So I can't make that go away. I have to own up to that and tell people, this is what I did. You don't have to do this same, make these same mistakes. So I try to encourage the youth, like, yo, don't do what I did. It's not going to work. No matter how smart you are, how dope you think you are, how tight your network is, like, never going to work. Doesn't matter. Like, they don't last, man. They don't make them like that.
And I think that's why I'm such a big, like advocate for people getting into sales and,
Yep.
specifically automotive sales, because it don't matter what background you got. I was actually talking to a homeboy of mine today about, just getting tired. And, at a certain point, you just want more. And I'm like, bro, that's it. That's everybody in the car business, or, really just.
I'd rather take somebody that has a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean stereotype shit, but I'd rather take somebody that's got a history that's real with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that I could actually look at their background check, or they're honest with me and I don't got to do that shit. I'd rather take that person than the straight and narrow person, because I know the hunger. I can see it. Like if they open up and they're ready to get real, like most people I know locally, I've sent them to local dealerships around here, man. Some of them have succeeded at very high levels. Some of them haven't. But the ones that have, bro, like I saw it. Even the ones that failed, like I know they got it in them. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they're hungry, but they're not willing to give it enough time. So for me, it took me to a point to where I died multiple times, overdosed, literally died, and woke up. And one day I just said, you know what? Like I don't want this life, man. Like I'm headed down the wrong road. Like how many more times is like I'm not gonna wake up next, one of these days. So I got to a point to where I just said, fuck it, like I'm done with this, and just made a spontaneous decision. Like, let me try what everybody else has been trying to tell me for, at this point I was 26 years old. And let me try to do what everyone else has been trying to guide me to be. So I took that advice. I did what everybody told me to do. It wasn't my decision. Like my best decision was to listen to them, to everybody else in my life. Once I did that, I personally stayed in a halfway house for a year. All right. With grown men. All right. Sharing a bunk bed. Who now one of them is my actual business partner in another venture. In a sneaker venture, which we'll jump into later. Funny story how that shit just turned about. And I think back on it like, damn, 13 years ago, we were like, nobody would give us a shot. Like we were working as roofers, as mules for $100 a day, cash off the books. You know what I mean? Busting our ass for $100 a day. And we chop it up and laugh about that shit now. So
like, where are you at? Not to cut you off. So kind of that was your, lower points back then. Like, describe your success right now. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things, and then you got to go into details with the specifics of your money. But going from where you were to where exactly are you now? Does that make sense?
I'd say hard work is starting to pay off. Dividends. It's been paying off, and I think I've been humble and grateful for it. But now I think continuing to be humble and being grateful for the shit I do have. Like I always want what I don't got, right? Like we all want that. Like right now I got an obsession with buying kicks, like a big obsession with buying kicks or jewelry, right? Like now I got the $100,000 iced out rollie, and I got the jewels, and I got this, and now I'm like, damn, I want a better bracelet, right? Or this, or like. Now that I look at it, I'm like, nah, bro, like I got what I want. I got 10 on the wrist and 100 on this one. Like I'm happy with what I have. It just took a while to figure that out. So the success, the monetary values were goals of mine. I wrote down goals that I've succeeded and surpassed time and time again. whether it's buying this property and flipping it, whether it's, yeah, I only want to make 30 off of that and you made 40. You're like, oh shit, I didn't even think I was going to make 30. Like I thought really I was going to make like 25 cleared. So writing down goals for me, when I look back at it, it's like a joke what I thought about 5-10 years ago. The idea like short-term goals, like what do you want short-term? Like doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the newest pair of kicks or it's that $1,000 pair of off-whites or it's to buy your wife this and to take her out to dinner and to go on a quick cruise for a week, right? And you need 5,000-6,000. Like it's the short-term goals versus long-term. Where do you want to be and where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Like what kind of, like, I mean, everything. Just write it down, no matter how stupid it sounds. Like what kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car you want to drive? You know, like what type of people do you want to hang out with? You know, where do you want your family to be? Like write this shit down. People think it's a joke. It's not. It's not, because you get to reflect and work harder at that until you get to it. I think I worked so hard, like I fucking shot past that shit like a slingshot.
Let's go.
All right, so like I just like was like, whoa. Like I didn't even realize I was just hustling so hard. People were leaving at 5. I wasn't leaving till midnight. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's closed and lights are out. Like, all right, cool, I'll lock up. You don't got the key. It's all right. What's the security code? I'll just close the door behind me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll turn the alarm on. Like that was my mentality. Was I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to catch up for the 5-10 years that I've missed. You know, so I realized at that point that I was so hungry. And that's what it really came down to. I just wasn't willing to accept defeat. I didn't care if I was only making $500 a week at that point. I knew that I believed in myself, that if I believed in myself long enough and kept putting into work day after day after day after day, what was going to happen? Someone was going to be like, I'm going to give this kid a shot.